Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'll be telling you about how I think the Greek gods would live in the modern life. Let's start from one of my favorites, Athena. I think if she was in the modern life, in the times of 2026, I think she'd be a judge in a courtroom. Or I think she'd be I think the most fitting role for her or job or profession, I think she should be a lawyer. Oh no, not a lawyer or a judge. Like a judge in the courtroom. Like she would be spot on in the courtroom because she's smart, she's wise, and she's very strategic. So I loved how I'm willing to see how she would take on all of her cases if she was a lawyer, or how would she deal with cases and give justice through people being a judge, because she is the god of wisdom after all. Now let's move on to Persephone. Oh no, that's actually Demeter's daughter. But if Demeter was a Greek, was still in the modern times, right, as a human, I think she would be a gardener, yeah. Or it's one of those things that involve being interested about the weather or something, like the weather reporter, weather news or something like that. Like today, we have 40 degrees Celsius. Like I'd love to see Demeter like that, because her power is like deciding the weather, or like, no, that's Zeus' part, but like seasons changing, and she's she's the one who prepares food for everyone, so that in Greek they don't die or anything like that. Yeah. I think she would be either a gardener or a weather reporter's news or something like that. Keep in mind this is according to the timeline, okay? And now let's move on to Aphrodite. So I think Aphrodite would. I'm actually not too sure about Aphrodite. I mean, like, the power of love. What could you do with that? And be a housewife? Like, I don't know what we can work with love for Aphrodite. But how about let's just skip her and let's go to the long-awaited Apollo. Apollo is like the living, the Greek god of giving the arts and craftsmanship, and also giving them predicting the future, being a shaman or something like that. You know, I think he'd be a museum tourist. I mean, like, that's genuinely just my opinion. I feel like he'd be the type of so this was a very rare state theme, something like that. I feel like he would be the type of museum tourist, and I think he genuinely has the logic for that. I mean, if I'm not wrong, I think he's Athena's brother, right? So that means he must have also the same intelligence as her, and he also has the skills as her, but like arts, craftsmanship, and stuff like that. You know, that's what I'm seeing. If you guys have any other opinions or takes on being like Apollo is not even a museum tourist or something like that, you guys can go tell me in the comment section below. Let's move on to Hera. Since her power is marriage and infertility, I feel like she would be either a marriage counselor, like when couples go to therapy for like any problem they're dealing with in their marriage, they go to her. That's called marriage counseling, you know? I feel like she would be a marriage counselor. I feel like she would be like a marriage counseling person, like, so how about we discuss your opinions and stuff like that, you know? Like, that's how I feel like Hera is. I mean, that is part of her powers, right? Like, dealing with infertility. But since she's also when women are pregnant, they start praying to Hera and stuff like that. I think she could also be a nurse. Genuinely, in my perspective, I think she could be a nurse. Cause like she could also like help with the babies, you know, and help the baby arrive safely. You know, that's just my perspective. But I think marriage counseling works better. Zeus. Here, I'm torn between a weather reporter. I don't think he's a weather reporter because that's already Demeter. But I feel like he would be a CEO. I think. Yeah, I think he would be a CEO. Or what's that called? What's it called? Oh yeah, it's called. It's called marketing. I feel like he'd be very persuasive. I feel like he'd be very persuasive for some reason. I don't know. I just feel like he should be persuasive. And get this, I think he would be the CEO of the Weather's Report news type of channel. I feel like he would be the CEO of that channel, and Demeter is also in his company and stuff like that. That's why she's a reporter. I feel like he would be the CEO. He's arranging these, like, you report this file, you report this file, you report about this city, you report about this city. I think that he might be a CEO because of his power and determination. I think that'd be cool. Poseidon. Okay, I kind of hate him but like him at the same time. I think he'd be. Do you guys know those like oceany type of vibes, like baristas? Nah, I think he'd be like between like a lifeguard, a lifeguard. Yeah, a lifeguard. Yeah, I think that's genuinely my opinion because he's like near the ocean, right? And if he like, I feel like in the modern life, I feel like he would be a lifeguard because he loves the ocean and he loves saving people. But I don't know, that's just my take. I feel like, I mean, and that's the closest thing that we have to genuinely like, or like those type of ocean researchers, like what's it called again? The Nova? Like those type of ocean researchers, divers or something like that. Those ocean updates researchers, like, we have found the Titanic, the Titanic ship down in the sink, or like something like that. Basically, like information finding for the ocean, and like he reports it on the website, and a current website. He talks about the ocean and stuff like that. I feel like that'd be his job, either that or a lifeguard. And then let's move on to Hades. Hades, I think this might be a little bit tad bit odd, but I feel like he'd be a villa owner or an apartment renter. Because, get this, his kingdom is the kingdom of the dead, right? And the kingdom of the dead is where people relax or something like that, right? So I feel like he would own a villa, you know? Like a place to relax and like lay back, stuff like that. I feel like he would be rich. I feel like, yeah. I mean, like all of I think all of the Greek gods are rich in their own way, and they're following their own passion in their own way. But I feel like Hades would genuinely be the most laid back because he would have some employees like, if you're the one who's going to be recruiting people. I'm the one who's going to be building the villas and stuff like that. Yeah, you get me, guys? I think you guys should get me. Yeah, I genuinely think that's good. I genuinely think that he would be a villa owner or something like that. Okay, which Greek god should I talk about next? Let's talk about Artemis. Since she's the god of forest and animals, I feel like she'd be like, what are those like leaders when they're like the watchers when they're having a camp scout or something? I feel like she'd be one of those. Ooh, what about those like? I feel like she'd be one of those camp scouts or something. Wait, what's that called? Let me just ask it really. What are the camp? like in an event camping, like she would be your guide. Does a guide tour of camp? Like those camp scouts with little girls. I'm so sorry. I genuinely don't know what to call it because I'm so confused. Like those, yeah, Girl Scouts camp. I think she would be the troop leader because in the Girl Scout camp, like camp, I feel like they would like camp, right? And Artemis and the camp would be like popular for a reason, like for example summer camp, and she would be the troop leader, you know, the guide tour. I feel like the troop leader, I feel like that would really connect with her passion too, because she loves the animals, she loves nature, and I feel like that's really according to her, you know. But anyways guys, that is all, and based on my perspective and how I think the Greek gods would still live to this, what their jobs would be and what they would do in the modern life, I think that's really just my take. But anyways guys, if you have anything else that you want to tell me, go ahead and tell me in the comment section below and I'll definitely hear you out. Stay tuned and stay curious. Check out my page if you want to see more. Bye guys!